There is a time to bid goodbye to the old and the ordinary, and to awaken the beauty within. That time is now. It is time to wake up and take charge of life. Awaken to a new way of thinking. Awakening with Brahma Kumaris. Namaskar. Welcome to Awakening with Brahma Kumaris. You're watching Soul Connections. Sister Shivani is with us. Welcome, sister.
Om Shanti.
There's something very painful about children. A lot of parents and a lot of people who've grown up now, they're writing that when we were children, we were abused, child abuse. And the most painful thing here is they are not still able to forget it even after 25 years, 30 years, 40 years. And also, they are not able to forgive the person. And so many people write, they thought that the other person is, kind of loving or kind of, doing something. And later on they realized what had happened with them. What do you have to say about this? Is the mistake of the parents? Is the mistake of the child? Or these sick people who do this?
Well, it's not about mistake, it's about what do we do now? And how do we handle this situation? One thing is for all of us to understand that even though we read about child abuse, we talk about child abuse, we seem to be aware of child abuse, and yet we don't think it could be happening in our house. And we think it's one of the rare things that happens to someone somewhere. But actually reality is, it's more common than we think it is.
And it might be happening right now.
It might be happening right now in your own house to your own child.
Let us also understand one more thing. For some people, just a little touch, oh, I was touched. For some people, a little. And some people, they're even raped. But also, it depends on a girl or a boy who can even magnify and feel guilty for no reason also. Maybe for a small thing, he or she might take it as such a big sin, or maybe I'm such a bad person, or this has happened to me, I'm no more clean.
Well, the thing is, it's not about whether it was a touch or whether it was something more than that. If the person is not comfortable with what happened, then the other person has not done the right thing. It just ends there.
Yeah, that I agree.
If the child is not comfortable, then you are exploiting the child. And that would be counted as child abuse.
I understand that. But today that child is an adult, it is 30 years old thing, but at least he or she can understand that at least for me it did not happen such a big thing.
Well,
it was not such a big issue.
But it's not about what big thing it was. The trauma, the wound was created then. The wound is not getting created now when they're 25 or 30. When they're 25 or 30 and they're mature and they're able to understand the rights and the wrongs, the wound was not created then. If the wound was created now, they would be logical enough to understand whether, what is what, and then create that size of the wound that you're saying. But the wound was created in a little child. The pain is now. Now when there is the pain, you cannot go and change the size of the wound. The wound was created then, and most important is because the wound is that old, 20 years old or 30 years old, the pain's only been increasing day by day because it's an old wound. So the size of the wound for a child to decide is very difficult.
But now let us go back to that age when the child was, say, about 5, 10, 15, whatever happened. At that moment, most of the emails and the letters they've written, you know what they say? That one, that they did not have the courage to tell their parents. And two, if they did, they were slapped beaten up?
One is, if a child goes through something like this, most of the times the person involved is a close family member or friend,
Yes. you're
because it
right.
is happening within the confines of your house or friend's house, neighbor's house. So it's a person whom you know well, mostly.
Teachers,
Yeah,
uncles,
teachers.
neighbors,
Absolutely.
friends.
And that's why it comes as a shock first to the child, because it's not a stranger on the road. If it was a stranger on the road, you can come home and tell more easily.
Yeah.
But when it's your own uncle, when it's your very close friend of your family, when it's someone whom you see your parents have a very good relationship with. See, it could
Yeah.
be a child's mother's brother or the child's father's brother. So it's a very, very close relationship, and you can see your parent has tremendous amount of trust on this person. So that itself becomes a very big challenge for the child. How is the child going to go and tell the parent?
I won't be able to convince, or I would just say half-heartedly. I would say, Dad, you're speaking to so and so. I don't like that person. I will not be able to have words to say he did that to me.
Yes, because
And
we
I will
have to
just,
understand
if
it's a
I say I
child.
hate that person,
Yeah.
I don't like him, somehow there's something wrong with him. You know what the father will say? How do you do that? Don't say that to my friend. You shouldn't be like this. And the child is in a big problem here.
Absolutely. So, as of now, first and foremost, parents have to be aware that this could be happening at home. So, if they find any change in their child's behavior, if they find that the child does not want to be close to someone, let's take it seriously. Like you said, if the child is saying, I don't like so and so, let's take it seriously. And let's go on gradually without reacting, without shouting, without just rejecting what he's saying, very lovingly, slowly, softly, gradually, over a period of time, talk and find out. He will tell you everything. But if a child is saying that I don't want to be with this person, don't send me to their house,
And,
don't
and
send me alone there.
And what do the parents do? They say, no,
Yes,
you've got to
and
be
they send.
friendly. You've got to learn to be friends with everybody. You can't do this. You can't just be like that. They're nice people, please.
Right. So have that patience. Understand there's a reason why the child is saying that. And at least don't send him to that person till you really find out what is the reason that the child is moving away. See, all these things require patience and stability. Instead of just reacting and thinking that what you think is right, and the child is just overreacting.
At that moment, sister, it's almost impossible for the parents also to even think from that point of view.
Yeah, but then that is awareness, right? We need to be aware. My child is saying something to me, is not able to communicate it completely, but I need to be aware. I should be able to sense that my child is in pain. That
So
is
the
receiving
mistake
power.
here is that we do not take our children seriously. We always say, oh, the
That's
child
because
speaks.
we always say we know what's right.
He's a child.
The child is ready to speak, but the child has to see whether the parent is ready to listen. The child might not be able to say it, just openly in the first go. But if gradually, slowly you find out, you'll be able to find out the truth. Now, second thing that happens with the child is, first, the child starts thinking, it's my mistake. That's the first thing any child goes through, whether a girl or a boy, because they're not aware that, it's actually something that's wrong with the abuser. They think if someone is doing this to me, I am wrong, I am bad. That's why this is happening to me. And when it happens to them, it is like, I am now dirty. So actually, they think that they're not supposed to complain about the other person because they think it's they who are
Dirty.
it's they who are to blame for what has happened. And they can hold that self-hatred
And pain and
for a lifetime.
low self-esteem.
Absolutely. For a lifetime. That happened with me was because there was something wrong with me. And they will not tell anyone.
And also the person who is the
Abuser.
they also put fear in the child. They say, if you say something, I'm going to do this to you.
That's why it requires a parent-child to have such a transparent relationship, where a child has the faith that whatever I go and say to my parents will not react, they will be stable and they will listen to me. It is because of their reactions that I have seen in other situations that I will not have the faith to be able to go and share this, what is happening with me. And the other thing that happens is, one is the child starts hating himself or herself. Self-esteem is really going to go very, very low. And like you said, in cases where the child does go and tell the parents, the immediate reaction is of disbelief, because it's someone in very close, very close. So our mind, even, it's like when we said conflicting mind, even if the mind is listening to the child, the mind doesn't want to believe it. You know, if a child goes and tells a mother that your brother is doing this to me, the mother,
First thing is she'll slap.
the mother does not want to believe that my brother can do something like this, because it's a relationship of many, many years of attachment. These are very close relationships. So their immediate reaction will be disbelief. Now imagine here's a child who already has low self-esteem, self-hatred, with great difficulty has taken up the courage of coming and sharing, and the immediate reaction that a child gets
It's a shock.
is, so there was one shock that I got was from the abuser, but actually the bigger shock that I get
It's from
is
my
from the
parents.
parents. Is from
Yeah.
the parents.
So painful.
So however close the relationship may be of the abuser to your family, you have to trust the child. And then see secondary, what has to be done. We have to understand that my child needs immediate healing right now. Immediate healing. The child's
And by healing, you mean first love?
first love is because
Confidence.
first total acceptance. Second, being able to explain to the child, it was not your mistake. This is very important. If this
It
wound,
was not your mistake.
not at all.
That is a very, very
If this
important
could have
line.
been done with the child at that age, the grown-up would not have that pain in that wound.
I've read most of our mails, they say the parents tell us it's your mistake.
Yeah. It was not your mistake at all. You are absolutely fine. You are absolutely clean and pure like what you were. When the child comes and shares this with the parent, it's a fresh wound. It's just happened recently. The parent has the power to heal that wound there itself. And the pain will just disappear. And the child will probably forget that incident.
And also will be strong enough next time
Absolutely.
to face.
Very, very, very true.
And he can this time, or she can say, if you do this, I'm going to tell my parents, okay? And I've already told. And you better be
very, very
careful.
true. Absolutely.
Give them power instead
Yes,
of beating
but
them
at
up.
that time, the immediate healing that a parent has to do is first not go into pain themselves. They can't go into pain. Oh, this, you know what happens immediately? This happened to my child. That either it's disbelief or it's hatred for the person. Can't afford to create pain right now. Please remember that my immediate role is only to heal that child, to heal the
In
wound.
so many episodes, you have cleared this point so very well. For anything to heal, I have to be stable in my mind. And the most beautiful thing I've learnt here is to be stable, and then you can do wonders.
Yeah, because you know, right now your child is in pain. You just cannot afford to send any more of pain. If you want to send strength,
Any problem, sister.
any problem, but something
in
like
all
this.
these episodes.
But something like this.
But this is such a beautiful line, that's why I'm repeating, so that all the viewers should understand that if I am normal, if I am stable, if I am strong, I can
empower.
always heal the other person.
Absolutely. So at this time, it's very important for the parent to be able to make the child understand it's not your mistake. This has to be rubbed in and till the child is 100% convinced. There shouldn't be a single doubt about this, that it was not because of me. It was not because of me. I'm not the wrong one. I'm not the bad one. I'm not dirty. The parent can only convince the child.
And what about the sin part?
Yeah, I committed the sin.
I'm not a
Yes.
sinner.
Yes.
Yeah, I committed
This
the
the
sin.
parent can do. It's very simple to do it with a child, provided the parent can create that right energy at that time. So first, to trust your child completely, to believe, not react at all. Definitely not reject, saying that you are the one who's not telling the truth or it's your mistake. And definitely convincing that you're not bad, you're not wrong, you're not dirty, you haven't committed any sin. It's someone else who did something, but it's okay, it's over and out. And then strengthening him or her how they're going to face the same person or anyone else who does something like this. The second very important thing in order to bring back the confidence of the child and also to address the issue that has happened is to talk about this in the open to the abuser. We think that, okay, forget it. Let's not talk about this. Who's going to confront the person?
What will the world say? What will
the
people
world
say?
But we have to understand that someone who's done this once has a tendency and would do it again. Could do it to my child again, or could do it to any other family member. The family needs to know about this.
And then?
It's very, very important. The family does need to know about this.
Then
when
do
we
what?
think we'll protect people by hiding it, we're actually creating a very high risk situation for all the children in the family.
Yeah.
And plus strengthening the sanskar of the person who does it. Because the person then feels he can do something like this
And get away.
and get away with it. So we have to help everyone involved.
You mean to punish him too?
It's not about punishing. We don't punish family members. It's about talking it out to them and letting them know that we know. That itself will stop a lot of things. And that itself will help everyone else to take care. And that will, because this should happen in front of the child also. The child should see that the parents talk to that person. This will help the child to have the courage.
And self-esteem grows.
Because the
and
child
strength.
will be able to send
And faith in the parents?
in the parent. And the child is able to convey the message to the abuser, here it is, we are together. You can't do anything to me and get away with it. It's very, very important.
And be careful next time.
Yeah. And when the child sees that the parents talk to that person about it and sees that it's the person who's made a mistake, the child also understands, okay, so it really wasn't my mistake. It wasn't. I was not the one who was bad or wrong. It's this person who's done something wrong. For a child, this wrong and right is very important. So he needs to be very clear. Acha, so my parents are talking to this person. They're angry with this person because he's made a mistake, not my mistake. These small scenes that happen in the house at that time are going to get imprinted here. And this will create the personality of the child. So a single wrong decision at this time can create a damage to my child's personality. So these things have to be brought out into the open.
This is a very important point you said, sister. Because a lot of girls, they start feeling that I am dirty, I've already sinned, now let me lead this kind of a life. Now I'm no more pure,
Yeah.
I can't get married, I cannot live a normal life.
At this point, if a child is slightly old enough to understand, then spirituality helps us to understand this issue in a very, very right perspective. And that is, a child can understand this if a parent is able to explain it. You are not a body. You are a soul. You are a pure soul. Because this concept that I have become impure, I have become dirty, is a little difficult to erase. How much ever you keep telling somebody, no, you're not dirty, you're pure, they feel no,
They
someone
just see
has
you
done.
just telling me like this,
Yeah.
but actually
Yeah.
it has happened to me and
Absolutely.
I know that I
Absolutely.
am not clean.
Right. So if the child is able to understand that when I say I am dirty, who's the I? And if the parent is able to explain, because it's the truth, I am a pure soul with a body. Somebody has done something to my body. And if a parent is able to explain that the body is just like a costume, someone's done something to your costume, understand, but it's over. No one's done anything to you. You're a pure soul, pure as ever.
So heal the
Yes,
child's emotion
yes.
And
It's
the
very
mind.
important.
and the pain.
It's very important right now to get my confidence and my self-esteem to that stable level, to understand that what was abused was not me. What was abused was my body. Becomes easier to handle. Not that it's over immediately, because it just becomes slightly easier to handle. And every time the child has to grow up with this understanding, I'm a pure soul. I'm a pure soul, instead of saying, I'm dirty. It's two contradicting thoughts. It's very important to understand. Spirituality can
But
really
so
help to heal.
if I was the victim, I would say, fine, I'm a pure soul, but why can't my parents understand that the agony, the pain which
Yeah,
I'm
but this,
going
this,
through,
this thinking.
and that traumatic experience and the trauma, will that go away by just counseling this, that you're a soul, you're a soul,
See,
you're a pure
again, we
soul?
have to heal from all aspects, no? We have to do everything for a complete healing. So that's why we said one is understanding it, believing what the child is saying, explaining to them that it was not their fault, confronting the abuser, and then empowering the child. Everything has to be done. It's not just one thing. It's everything has to be taken care of to heal. And the other very important thing that the parent can start teaching the child to do is to forgive the abuser. I have to forgive. There's no other way otherwise. If I want to grow up to be a strong and healed personality,
This is a
I
fabulous
have to
point.
forgive the abuser.
Fantastic point, sister. To forgive the abuser. All the males I have here, they are not able to forgive and not able to forget.
So a parent has to help the child by making the situation small, by explaining, okay, yes, this was done, but it's over. They'll never do it again. Depending on the age of the child.
Yeah.
Sometimes the child is very young. It's easier to heal at that time. If a child is young and this happened, it's easy to heal because a child trusts the parent completely. So whatever message the parent will convey with conviction, child will accept.
That's why if you're friendly with the child,
Yes.
if you're very open with the child will tell you something immediately before it happens again and again and again for years.
Right.
So it's much better.
So it's very important that for the parent also, once you've brought it out into the open and confronted the person who's done it, it's also important to forgive. We
And
can't
even
carry
the parent should forgive.
the parent. Unless the parent forgives,
The child
the
won't.
child cannot. Because by forgiving, and forgiving means, okay, this has happened due to whatever emotional, because whoever has done it is another emotional pain. Definitely.
Maybe
There's
he's
another
sick.
vacuum. Yeah, but sick means what? Again, when you're saying the person is sick, means what? Means he's not stable. He's not strong. There is some vacuum which is leading him to do something like this. So again, I have to forgive, because forgiving will make things easier for me, not for them. They have to do their healing. When we forgive people, it's for us. There was this lady who was, in fact, she's been watching Awakening now for 3 years, and now she's about 35, and she was abused when she was 6 or 7 years old, and she decided not to get married because she said, I don't believe people anymore. I don't trust people
Natural.
anymore. So, age of 35, she's always lived alone. She doesn't live with people. She wants to be on her own, alone. And she obviously holds that hatred for the person who's done it. And then one of the days she was in a workshop while we were talking about this topic, that when let go, whatever you're holding inside, just let go. Let it go, because by holding it, it's only hurting you, not them. Whatever happened was over, it's past, let it go. That evening, she just sat with herself and she said, I understood what happened was 30 years back. Okay, what happened was not nice, was not right, but what has happened for the next 30 years
It's my mistake.
was done by me.
Yeah.
That person abused me when I was 5, but I have abused myself
For the
next 30
30.
years, and today I let it go.
Bah, wonderful.
Have to. Because I have been creating all this pain so many years.
And reliving the past, reliving it again.
And then all the decisions in my present and the future
Kind of giving nourishment to
to the pain.
the wound, going on and on and on,
Yes.
up to the state that it might become a cancer.
Yeah, and internally, what's the quality of life? What is the quality of life?
Then you
So
can never-
forgiveness is an absolute, absolute, absolute must, even if you think that what has happened is.
So we forgive others.
You know, we
for
say
our
it's
sake.
no, we don't forgive others. We say this, he is
Forgive ourselves.
unforgivable. We're not forgiving them.
Hmm.
We're forgiving ourselves. We feel this is very important. We're not forgiving them
you-
by deleting that incident, by letting go, by understanding they had a reason,
So you
they were
mean
in
to say
pain.
we were punishing ourselves?
Absolutely.
So we were not forgiving ourselves.
No, we thought what we were holding was because they made a mistake. But what we didn't realize is by holding it, we were the ones creating the pain. Our personality was getting damaged, not theirs.
So who's forgiving whom?
I am forgiving myself for having hurt myself
And before
for so
that, when
many
she
years.
was 5,
See, when she was
that
5, she
time.
wouldn't have understood.
but today,
Today
she
she
can
can.
forgive that person
Yes.
also.
So if you have a child who's gone through this, help the child to forgive. By forgiving yourself, the parent needs to forgive the abuser, help the child to forgive. It's very important aspect of healing.
So for all the males and all the people concerned, all the victims, what is the last thing you would like to say? Would you like to tell them to do some kind of a meditation, or would you like to tell them to let go in a
See, when we say let go,
means what?
means what? One, stop repeating that it's a pattern of thinking. That thought comes back to
Okay.
you again and again. And then what will be the series of thoughts? They did this to me. I am bad. I am wrong. I was a victim. Why did this happen to me? Why were my parents not there to protect me? You know, even if they
Why
trust,
did
we
my
feel.
parents listen to me
Yeah.
when I was
You know, we
telling them?
feel that this was a betrayal from my parents, what happened to me. Most of the children feel that. My parents were not there to protect me
At
when
that-
this was happening to me. It is a lot of conflicting energy that happens inside.
So what answer do you
So
give them
even
now?
the parent-child relationship actually gets affected.
Mhm.
There was this lady, when she was 11 years old, there was a family friend of theirs who was about 55. So the parents said, that uncle is alone today, you go and stay there. His family had gone off somewhere else. Now this 11-year-old girl was sent there. And something happened. Today she's 55. She says, I hate my parents. Hate. And from the age of 11 to the age of today 55, she's not had a good relationship with them. Today she's gone through a divorce. She's not happy with her children because she's not a happy person. She doesn't trust people. So whatever relationship she will get into,
She hates her parents, doesn't trust people.
see
is
why
not a
she
happy
doesn't
person.
trust people? Because she didn't trust her parents, no. So she didn't have a good relationship with the
But do you
husband.
think here is somewhere the parents' fault also?
See, again-
at the age of 11, they go and stay with them.
Unaware, you're sending your daughter to a person who's 60, 55, 60 years old in all innocence. So this person now needs to realize it was not my parents' fault. Whatever happened was not right.
Can we take this as an accident? It happened.
It's just that understand that it was not my parents' fault. My parents didn't do anything wrong. My parents are not bad. You know, these are the programming that takes place in the mind of a child. And then that programming stays for a very, very long time. So even this thing that my parents were not there to protect me makes a child very insecure. And then that person grows up to be an insecure person. And this person then finds it difficult to trust a lot of people around them, their husbands, their wives, their children. So this healing is very important. If not done when you were a child, you can still do it now.
Even though we've heard a lot about child abuse, we've read about it, we've spoken about it, the most important thing we have learned today is that we have to finally heal ourselves, heal the victim, and forgive the abuser.
The abuser.
I don't
And if
think
we've been a victim for it in the past sometime, we can still heal ourselves today. It's possible.
yes, it is possible to heal, forgive, and by forgiving them, we are forgiving our own selves and healing ourselves.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sister.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.